Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Please remember to like and subscribe. March 5th, a day that the Brown family will always remember, even though it might have just been another page on the calendar. There's a reality too real for the nighttime that lies behind polished, push smiles and well-cut confessionals. A son lost, and the questions will never stop echoing. Their story has been rehearsed, polished, and reorganized to smooth out the roughness. However, off camera, the timeline is a distinct story that follows a disaster. Shown initially not for lighting but to control the story. Janelle's voice was measured low and almost brittle. They weren't present. Not for him, not for process. They now insist on grace. What is the forgiveness for? Robyn's glazed eyes and Kody's clamped, protecting jaw flashed. The look in Christine's eyes seems to be 1,000 miles away. The headlines are blurry on the screen. There are many questions, but one thing is certain. In this household, nothing happens without a purpose. It was labeled as reconciliation by the makers. Kody offering to get back in touch, but it was filmed after Garrison's passing and staged to look like an awakening before it happened. It wasn't revolutionary. It was an acting role in the narrative that lies underlying everything. Kody talks of grace, second chances, and his love for his kids. However, he only interacts with Robyn's kids almost exclusively when she is around. Additionally, those conversations rarely take place with the older children unless arranged by their mothers. At 30, Aspen it was the first conversation she had with him that wasn't arranged by Christine. Why did he usually interact with his children through their mothers? Because he did not parent Robyn's children until they arrived. Not at all. Even his other spouses have now effectively labeled him a deadbeat father. The audience might have assumed Garrison and Gabe were there when he made a suggestion about going to see Janelle's sons. In actuality, though, the meeting was probably between Logan and Hunter. Garrison has already passed away. The editing was done. That part is up for interpretation. In the push-out flashback, Janelle was told by Kody to evict the males. They were only 21 years old. Everything you need is here, he said. A door slammed in their faces, followed by a car and some advice. Janelle spoke up because she was worried about Garrison. He was aloof. Illinois. But Kody had his sights set on something different. Shortly thereafter, Garrison gave a straightforward explanation at a dinner at her family's house. I went into school, bought a house, and acquired the car I wanted, the one he told me not to have. Purchase. And since he doesn't care to know, he doesn't even know. You can relate to the anguish behind such words and the reality of duty if you have ever seen a child shoulder the weight of an absent parent. No, Kody didn't kill Garrison by himself. Garrison was an adult with demons no one could really see, stress from a National Guard, and perhaps alcohol problems. However, it is untrue to suggest that Kody's years of emotional distance had no effect. Only the most loyal, able to swallow. Even his alleged dedication to Robyn's kids isn't as selfless as it seems. Like everyone else, they are engaged in a power struggle. Love and caring are more important than control. As the show reminds us, not everyone is suited for polygamy, plural marriage. Only Janelle seemed to be a good fit for it out of all the wives. She doesn't need to be watched all the time. She avoids becoming envious. She is a long-term player. Meri, domineering, bitter. Christine, equally in need. Envious. Always a focal point. Always the first priority. Always the crown. Robyn. Janelle chose a lifestyle, knowing full well what it entailed. Her strength is her independence. She avoids conflict, makes concessions when necessary, and is busy enough to keep her personal needs far below the surface. According to Robyn's reality TLC, Robyn dreamt about Sister Wives a lot and longed for late-night chats and co-parenting. However, the reality is that she desired rewards along with monogamy. She desired the distinction of being the most favored wife without having to deal with the grind of financial stability. Take a close look at the scene with the vanity box. While putting together furniture, he boldly declares, "I'm in love with Robyn," referring to her as a family shopper. But that's not what she's returning, love. She gives him a plan, feeds his ego, guides his focus, and keeps the money coming in. Her rage also bruises when his older children start to creep back toward him. Kody's lessons about divorce. Robyn's past seems to be the only basis for Kody's views on divorce. He recounts the same story. Children are poisoned by women against their dads. Since he witnessed Robyn doing it to her former one, he believes it to be true. He trusted her story without question, didn't talk to her former partner, didn't investigate further. He maintains that he just heard one side of her and thus shielded her. In actuality, his elder children's animosity is not caused by their mother's rumors. It comes from watching him for years put the children of others before their own. This year's mid-season mystery didn't make sense unless you were aware of the real cause. It took place between February 2nd and April 20th, which included Garrison's birthday and his death. A pause to grieve, perhaps a production hold-up to rework the story. It's almost a given that family meals should be warm, but awkwardness is common in this household. The second adolescence of Christine. McKelty's muscular. Comedy. I roll silent aspens. Everything is there. It can be enjoyable at times. Over the line can occasionally be off-putting. The sacrifice is a falsehood. When Kody talked about the sacrifices he made for Christine, it may be the most bitter irony. In actuality, she took care of the family, worked evenings, and took care of the children. Staying in a marriage he acknowledges he never desired was his idea of sacrifice. He makes fun of her sense of humor by telling the nacho tale over and over, takes their anniversary vacation with therapist, reminds her of he bought everything in her apartment, and now they're splitting up. Fabric is sacrifice for the cameras. Heartbreak isn't what Kody's knife in the kidney speech represents. She calls his deal to end, which infuriates him, that he loses the material and psychological benefits she gave him, that he is losing control of the narrative. Furthermore, it becomes evident as the credits roll that the story we were told was never the real one. There's a trend in the private confessions that the cameras missed, of quiet regrets and intimate confessions. In quiet off-camera times, wives admit that Kody's love had conditions, including public acceptance, submission, and admiration. According to Christine, he was completely unaware of the years of working nights, taking care of children, and enduring emotional toll. He keeps track of every penny I spend and every favor I provide, but he never keeps track of the hours I spend up with the children. Christine murmurs. Janelle, on the other hand, is serene in the hurricane's eye. Her fortitude is survival, not individuality. She is aware that the cameras capture what they capture, but she must protect reality. And that reality is going to crash with everyone else's illusions in this part of the narrative. The secret video that video enthusiasts have been waiting for. Never do fight scenes there. There are times when Christine's stoic rage, Janelle's restraint, and Robyn's strategy collide with genuine emotion, shattering Kody's on-stage persona. Allegedly, crew members were hauled into custody. Heated arguments in which he is directly confronted by adult children. Robyn is manipulating things to her advantage. Money reveals contradictions in Kody's statements. This is more than just drama. It is the foundation for the secrets of the family being exposed. Under stress, the wife's conflicts, Meri's dominance, Christine's despair, Robyn's planning, and Janelle's equanimity all show up in different ways. In contrast to Robyn's goals, Christine's desperation was growing. Meri becomes more envious. Conflicts, as her manipulation runs into opposition, Robyn's strategies begin to fall apart in terms of perceived favoritism. While Janelle watches in quiet, her influence begins to subtly influence events. These days, even modest family get-togethers are powerful. Battles. A smile can be a disguise. Laughter is a deliberate emotion. Every glance is weighty. The viewpoint of the kids. The cameras frequently ignore the stories that adult children have to convey. They either don't interact with Kody at all, or just do so sometimes. An off-screen narrative exposes long-standing animosity that is difficult to talk about on national television. Confrontational moments that serve as a reminder to Kody of what occurs when he is absent. Emotional scars brought on by favoritism and theatrical parenting. Aspen continues to play the part of the silent bystander, the mature person who constantly balances performance and truth. The disparity between public statements and actual financial events is one of the financial mysteries. circumstances in which Kody's claims of selflessness and the facts contradict the largest. Robyn's calculated use of his ego to obtain resources. The consequences. They cast doubt on Kody's and Robyn's well-maintained facade. The confrontation that no one anticipated. The long-awaited scene is finally captured by the cameras. Kody meets his grown children in person. Fingers wagging, voices raised. Years of theatrics, partiality, and neglect. When all of a sudden, parenthood finally boils over. When it mattered, you weren't present. A child shouts the phrases, reverberating in the living room. Defensive. Kody tries to defend himself, but the seriousness of the accusations is undeniable. When Robyn's intentions run into unadulterated opposition, even her normally composed manner starts to falter. As the celebration descends into chaos, Janelle observes from the sidelines, her restraint the only thing keeping it from happening. Financial bombshells and hidden papers come to light, revealing stark differences between Kody's statements and facts in public. Disputed payments and misrepresented investments. Instances in which Robyn used Kody's ego to further his own financial gain. The stakes are really high. Viewers will be questioning whether the patriarch is telling the truth, and they will be more suspicious of Robyn's motivations. As the wife's power struggle intensifies, Meri's jealousy erupts. Robyn's cunning and Christine's intensity clash, and Robyn's deft tactics begin to unravel. Although Janelle's flexible and logical thinking keeps her one step ahead, strain is growing beneath her. Cold exterior. These days, every meal, discussion, and holiday get-together is a strategic game of chess. Real-time alliance formation and dissolution keeps viewers on edge. As the youngsters talk, the adult children start sharing their stories, which expose years of emotional neglect, bewilderment, and silent resentment. Kody's absence throughout pivotal periods is exposed. It reveals a performative parenting that influenced their early years. It is impossible to deny how favoritism affects their dynamic. Aspen is a grounded grown-up. Sensitivity turns as a filter that helps observers interpret the chaos. The storm's lone voice of reason. The hidden videos surfaced. Moments of strategy and manipulation in private. Disclosures that contradict the polished public image. Excessive emotive debates that were meticulously removed from previous episodes. In addition to being astounding, these findings challenge everything Brown supporters thought they understood about the team. After the pyrotechnics, the dust settles after a confrontation. Conflicts. As each family member attempts to comprehend what has happened, they retreat to their own realms. It's obvious Kody is disturbed. His carefully crafted persona is in ruins. Even Robyn, who is usually so calm, breaks under the strain. Her voice was a mixture of fear and frustration as she quietly admitted, "I didn't think it would get this real." Still, the kids feel a sense of relief. Finally, years of suppressed emotion have been released. Additionally, there is a catharsis that occurs while the scars are still present, cannot be refuted. The previously hidden financial realities are revealed. Unaccounted for transactions and documents are now publicly available within the family. Questions that were previously whispered in private must now be addressed. Kody's demands for money are examined and debated. The move made by Robyn is revealed, revealing a planned series of manipulations. All of the women and kids deal with lies and contradictions, which leads to tense negotiations and defending themselves against justifications. It's more than just drama. It's an emotional accounting has implications for household harmony, faithfulness, and trust. The women' new relationships, Meri, Christine, Robyn, and Janelle, come to a standstill. The traditional coalitions and power bargains begin to shift. Resistance to Christine's ferocity and desperation forces her to rethink her strategy. Though tension still exists, Meri's envy provides an opportunity for introspection. Robyn observes that the effectiveness of her tactics has diminished. The equanimity of Janelle and adaptability still keep her steady. But the storm demands that even she be patient for an evening. Viewers observe the changing dynamics with tension as the once delicate equilibrium of the household is now exposed. The kids stand up and assert their territory. Children who are adults begin to set limits. As they state expectations for accountability, respect, and communication, the influence of the past is questioned. We will no longer play pretend. According to one child, the past is the past. However, if things must alter if we are to have any future. For individuals who were previously silent, the boundaries established here represent a turning point, a time of empowerment and clarity, unspoken truths and lessons acquired. Although there are still some unresolved issues, the lessons learned from the tumult show that performative parenting has long-lasting effects. Manipulation and control are only effective for so long before reality demands opposition. Self-awareness, perseverance, and resilience are the qualities that allow some families to. Members in order to endure dysfunction. The underlying truth is demonstrated even by Aspen, the gloomy onlooker. The secret to surviving a storm no camera could ever record is emotional intelligence and a grounded viewpoint. Secrets that will not remain hidden. There are murmurs that circulate about stories that are not visible. Differences between what was filmed and what was broadcast are brought to light by crew members, insiders, and former associates. Although behind-the-scenes videos are shown to the audience, edited content expose Kody's avoidance of accountability for his many mistakes. In order to protect her reputation, Robyn covertly changes the subject. Janelle remained composed while gently pointing out the inconsistencies in other persons. Supporters begin to realize that the information they have been given is only a portion of the whole picture. The private conflicts intensify. Behind closed doors, the wives fight, the laboriously negotiated, and old grievances reappear. The balance of power starts to shift. Christine struggles with not being heard while time taking over her children's story. Meri becomes overshadowed and becomes enraged but unable to express it. Although Robyn makes an effort to manage things without confronting people directly, the cracks are starting to show. Allegiances begin to shift as a result of Janelle's subtle but powerful tug on the family. There are underlying stakes in every conversation. There's meaning in every glance. The kids resist. Children who are adults are no longer merely supporting characters in the drama. They begin establishing limits and explicitly questioning the decisions that shaped their early years. Favoritism and emotional maltreatment are identified. Line by line, Kody's prior actions are questioned. There is much discussion on decisions that affected inheritance, attention, and resource access. Aspen, the voice of reason, continues to observe clearly and perceptively, pointing out injustices and contradictions while discreetly compiling evidence that may influence future family interactions. More discrepancies were discovered in financial secrets, transactions, divisions of property, and secrets. The financial situation is considerably more complex than viewers ever realized, according to understandings. A more thorough examination of Robyn's financial planning reveals a pattern of long-term planning about Kody's finances and ego. Fairness, openness, and the real reasons behind important family decisions are called into doubt. The stakes are now material rather than emotional, and they will affect future control, trust, and alliances. As long truths start upsetting family dynamics, the fallout starts and tensions increase. Structures, credibility, and power cannot be maintained by Kody. The wife's long-standing positions are weakened. Children who are adults begin to associate themselves with one another, creating coalitions that threaten existing hierarchies. The next argument could lead to irreversible change because the delicate dynamics of the household are at risk. The secrets of the ultimate showdown blow up. Suppressed facts that have been spoken, implied, or quietly erased suddenly burst into the open. There is indisputable evidence of Kody's persistent disrespect and partiality. Finally, Robyn's cunning manipulation is revealed, showing how she took advantage of Kody's ego to manipulate him and make money. It is now impossible to escape Janelle's subtly influencing the family. In a tornado of mayhem, she is the voice of reason. There's a lot of stress. Each family member is forced to confront a reality they had long ignored. The delicate equilibrium between wives is completely disrupted by their conflicts, falls apart. An angry and frustrated discussion breaks out between Christine and Robyn. For the first time, Meri stands up for herself and challenges both Christine and Kody. Robyn attempts to deflect, but everyone can clearly see the fissures. Janelle maintains her composure while subtly manipulating the conversation's specifics and tone to her benefit, demonstrating her remarkable adaptability. As alliances are formed, disbanded, and reassembled with extreme stress, power dynamics shift dramatically. The kids talk. Feelings of adult children, empowered now, offer their harshest criticisms to date. Favoritism and years of emotional maltreatment are unchecked. They take aim at Kody's past failings, performative parenting, and disappearances. There's an open challenge to Robyn's influence on family structure. This confrontation is more than just a clash. This is a pivotal moment. The well-preserved picture of the family begins to fall apart as children begin to retract their voices. Papers, agreements, transactions, and financial and legal repercussions all show conflicting. Money management, inheritance, property, and previous accounts become controversial topics. A purposeful plan for long-term leverage is revealed, and Robyn's money management techniques are called into doubt. Piece by piece, Kody's grievances regarding justice and sacrifice are dissected. The stakes are not just emotional anymore. Money, family legacy, and trust are all on the line. As the conflict intensifies, the high-point emotions explode. Anger, tears, and long-suppressed annoyance. Clash. Wives and children both challenge Kody at the same time, making it difficult for him to defend himself. Under the strain, Robyn's ego starts to crumble, displaying a vulnerability that is rarely captured on camera. Everyone in the family and the audience is in a state of shock from this unadulterated, unfiltered drama. The consistent trend that dates back to the first seasons. Kody has taken a transactional approach to parenting. For his reputation, he spends time where he feels most needed or respected. Robyn's children were the focus of a new chapter in his life as a dedicated father, as well as of love. It always follows the same pattern with the older kids. Separation, a brief reconciliation for the cameras, and then separation once more. It's about appearance, not about healing. Janelle has always been the steady one, a wife's quiet haven, the one who didn't try to outdo anyone in the confessionals or compete for television time. But she was changed by Garrison's loss. Friends say that she's colder now, more in Kody's direction. She was more circumspect in her speech and less likely to overlook the behavior she had previously dismissed as simply Kody being Kody. Although she still has a strong link with Christine, the two ladies now silently agree that loyalty in their family is one-sided. The show's future TLC may attempt to salvage the program for a subsequent season, but insiders say the cracks are too deep to patch. The show now runs the risk of turning into a planning countdown sans Garrison and the appearance of unity, to a devastating downfall. Silently, some crew members think the filmmakers are already looking for an exit arc, a way to wrap up the narrative without making Kody the clear antagonist. However, social media, uncut video that circulates, and the willingness of the family members to talk could make it impossible to control the conclusion. Hours of meticulously trimmed tape can't express what 1 minute of flubbed audio stuck on a hot mic can. Out of frame, Kody complains, "They'll pardon me. They always do." It's a line meant to remain off the record. But everyone who's watched the drama play out over the last 10 years, it's the end of the story. It is a belief in endless second chances rather than love or loyalty. The final query. One thing remains after removing the editing, the joyful Christmas photos, and the pre-planned cosmetics. What happens when the cameras stop filming, if this is how families appear on film? Because sometimes what we see isn't the most shocking thing. It's what we were never able to see. There are files we haven't seen, so we still don't know. Conversations that happen without cameras in automobiles, parking lots, and kitchens. Some text messages were erased, but others were kept. That could prove who was aware of what and when. What was the real reason for the mid-season break? Who made the decision to rearrange the video so that Garrison's passing appeared to occur after the false reconciliation arc? Did Kody and Robyn push, or did TLC make the decision? The most embarrassing fact of all is that how many times does a man have to fail before his children eventually quit answering the phone? The leaks, which might come from any production source, imply that there's unreleased video and tense interactions between Kody and his older kids. Robyn dismisses it flatly. The others are in sorrow, and a publicity stunt driven by money has the potential to drastically alter public perception. The misinterpreted patriarch image might be destroyed in a matter of hours if those videos surface, and there are whispers that they might. The countdown has already started. Every year, Janelle and her kids experience the same mix of grief and rage on their anniversaries. And more of them express their opinions with every new season. People are more at ease criticizing the official narrative. The Brown family may think they have unrestricted control over the narrative. Power, however, is only as strong as its weakest secret. Furthermore, secrets tend to leak in this household. Coming up is the end card tease. TLC never provided the proof, the conflict that permanently split the family apart, and hence, whether Kody wants it to or not, the truth might eventually come to light. The episode of disappearance. A complete episode was scheduled, hinted to in production lists, and mentioned in cast member interviews, and then suddenly, it was canceled. No advertisements, no trailers, and not even a reference in formal news releases. It simply never took place. Why? Others believe it featured the unfiltered footage of Kody and a few older kids fighting, which was captured only days after an off-camera confrontation that shocked the household. Others claim that because it weakened the meticulously planned season narrative and was a messy scene that made reconciliation hard to present, it was cut out. Rumors of financial records, transactions, joint accounts, emergency withdrawals, and receipts that raised concerns have started to circulate among the Browns' close circle. Although nothing has been confirmed officially to date, the information that links particular filming wraps and enigmatic trip dates is too significant to ignore. When the control moment came, control and self-belief were the cornerstones of Kody's celebrity persona. Those who have seen him in the last year, however, speak of the loss of control and the waning confidence. The official story is undermined by each interview his older children do. The truth becomes more apparent with each leak, spontaneous moment, and trite line in a podcast. After it's filmed, what will happen next? You never truly lose footage. Members of the crew go on to other tasks. Editors keep copies of their labor, and eventually, the raw version will be leaked by someone with nothing to lose. Every cut scene, every deleted dialogue, every unwritten message, the ticking clock. There's a countdown, because the truth has a way of coming to light in this home. And there's no turning back once it happens. They will pardon me. They always do. Off camera, Kody complains. However, this is only true if others believe it. Additionally, there are several recordings, receipts, and accounts and records, as well as a lot of silent. Reserve, that notion is quickly fading. Janelle, Christine, Robyn, Meri, the family in distress, and even the grown children sense it. Private settings are tense. Subtle aids, sidelong glances, and small gestures. Every encounter has a lot of unshot and unbroadcast material. It even affects Aspen, who always acts like an adult in the middle of chaos. She observes in silence, mentally files, and considers the impact of every phrase. The next cycle of news will reveal secrets too enormous to ignore. Breaks can make all the difference. Conversation Kody thought was private was suddenly public knowledge. Financial transactions that go against statements made in public. Snippets of arguments that expose the cracks in the family's meticulously cultivated unity. And it happens for more reasons than just us watching. It is for the sake of the family. Old wounds swell with each new clip and new piece of knowledge. TLC may use edits and story to try to control the leaking in a show at the crossroads, a mid-season break, or even framing. However, the fissures are now too wide. Relationships, reputation, and the entire plot the show is attempting to convince you of are all impacted when control fails on one episode. Questions that the audience has been asking for years are answered in the final tease. Who could have known? What about the problems Garrison faces? When? What precisely transpired during those never-to-be-seen episodes? Is Kody able to maintain a persona? Or is his parenting reality about to be made public? The clock has already begun to ticking, and nothing will be the same after the release of the next chapter. Everyone is waiting for the truth to come out of the secrets. All those texts that were erased, all those yelling matches that took place off camera. The lifespan of all those recordings that are never viewed will be limited. That shelf life is about to run out for the Browns. Crew members recommend video of Kody screaming at multiple adult kids at once, with doors slamming, voices raised and background cameras rolling, but not in close-up. According to reports, Robyn makes remarks that give even seasoned crew members a hard time. Money talks, private confrontation, and unspoken secrets. They're all there. Some of the leaks that had the potential to destroy the family are not just embarrassing. They are also combustible, unseen conflicts that threaten the story of reconciliation. Financial transfers that the public refuses to acknowledge. Loyalty-building messages and recordings are not always reciprocated. The image of a devoted dad might be destroyed in an instant when these leaks surface. The clock is ticking. Quicker. The family's adults are aware, even if they choose not to acknowledge it. They all seem to know that something significant is just a matter of time away, as evidenced by the little clues, subliminal cautions, and silent restraint. Even the practical Aspen senses it and pays great attention, mentally cataloging what is real and what is done. To protect the family's reputation, the middle TLC network has tried to govern their environment by using editing and narrative framing. However, cracks start to appear whenever an insider, former employee, or crew member comes forward. The public is starting to pay attention as the controls are being loosened. When the long-held video finally comes to light, everyone will ask this question. The world will want to know if Kody actually changed. Were there ever sincere reunions? How widespread is a culture of manipulation, desertion, and favoritism? The responses are not merely dramatic. They might reinterpret all that fans believe to be true about this family. The drama in this family is far from finished. So, if you're hashtag Team Wife, smash like, get the next exciting update by subscribing, and leave a remark below. Who do you predict to prevail? I'll see you in the next scandal, so be suspicious and inquisitive. Behind TLC, kiss mark.